Hey, it's Brian Mudd, and this is my cheat sheet for Monday, August 27th. Hopefully, Isaac was no more eventful for you than it had to be. However, whatever the impact to your home and any community around here with Isaac, we're all getting hit the same way. That'll be at the pump. Couple things going on right now with oil and gas prices. As Isaac has been moving away from us, it's heading, and you've probably seen, towards the Gulf. As I'm recording this, it's headed right in the direction of New Orleans, and whether it hits there, a little to the west, a little to the east, you've got a couple of considerations. Number one, already you're seeing the futures market, which, keep in mind that oil and gas prices have been rising anyway, right? You know that. Oil is at $97 a barrel this morning, and that is before we really get going. Meaning that by the time people start to bid up oil because of fear of what might happen in the Gulf over the next couple of days, you are likely to see oil go over $100 a barrel again for the first time since April. Not good. Here's the other piece of it. A lot of our refineries are in the Gulf. If you see Isaac stay east, a little bit further east, almost towards Florida and the Panhandle, or more Mobile, that would be better from a gas station refinery standpoint than if it heads a little to the west, where we have a lot of refineries, especially in the eastern portion of Texas. So you got two things that are happening right now. You've got the oil market that's going to be bid up, probably $100 a barrel oil coming, and you've got refinery concerns. So over the next few days, you're going to see oil and wholesale gas prices rise. Goody, right? And what it will end up meaning to you a couple weeks down the road for people who buy, like your gas station buys oil today, buys gas today for their gas station a couple weeks from now, be paying an average of 5 to 8 cents more because of Isaac specifically. And that's as of now. Hopefully we don't have any problems. Obviously it could be a whole different ball game if you end up having a lot of problems related to Isaac with refineries, with some of the offshore drilling that takes place in the Gulf. Apple, their big win. What does it actually mean for technology? You might remember that maybe 3 weeks ago, in the earlier stages of the Apple-Samsung case, I actually pointed out why I thought Apple was going to win. Because you hear a lot of gobbledygook day to day, and I don't think a lot of that's useful. But there's one thing that made it pretty cut and dry for people to understand. And that was a document from Samsung that actually showed its Galaxy Tab head-to-head with the iPad, and it said what they needed to do to make their product better to compete with the iPad. And it was basically stealing their ideas, right? So it's really no surprise that as they changed things to mimic the iPad, they were stealing the ideas and technology from the iPad. And that, amongst all the other evidence, I think is what got it done. But here's the bigger thing. Up to this point, these have been like monkey you-know-what fights with these patents and all the technology. You have all these companies that'll buy up a bunch of patents and go, yeah, nobody will ever be able to figure all this out anyway, so we've got our butt covered. Well, no longer. This is more than $1 billion settlement or judgment against Samsung in Apple's favor, but moreover, it tells technology companies that they have to actually ensure that they have proper patent technology before they start putting products in the market, because that really hasn't been happening in recent years as people just race to get out the next shiny thing as quickly as possible. There will be repercussions in the technology market, and make no mistake, Apple, which is already the largest company in the world, could not be sitting in a sweeter position than they are right now. Some consumer advocate groups will begin to argue that it's not good for us as consumers because Apple, already being the top dog, has that much more power, that much more leverage. So, I don't know, we'll see. But make no mistake, this will have a ripple impact throughout the entire technological landscape going forward with consumer electronics. And one other Apple note for you real quick. You have 2 dates coming up. You have September 12th, and that's going to be the announcement of the iPhone 5. And then we are going to get an iPad mini. It looks like that's going to be in a separate press conference, but an iPad mini is coming. So if you've wanted an iPad but didn't want to have to pay up at least $500, you wanted something a little bit smaller, a little bit cheaper, you will have your opportunity, and it looks like that will happen in October. That is the cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours, and we will see you tomorrow.